We've got the brand new 2018 Never North America Mercedes A Class.
The A250 to be specific.
I'm Yuri.
I'm Jakub.
And we're going for a drive. The gimmick of this car is that it's electronically gimmicked. Check this out. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help you?
It pretty much has Siri.
Close the sunroof.
I'm closing the roller sun blind on the sliding sunroof.
That's pretty cool.
Augmented reality.
Okay, it's one of the coolest parts of this car. It's actually the coolest part, and it's the augmented reality navigation. And this is the edition.
I believe this is a launch edition, which I don't think we're getting in North America. Now, that's going to be the theme of this, because the one we're driving is not exact for the one that we're getting in North America. There are a lot of similarities, the most important one being the engine.
And transmission.
America does not get a hatchback.
But Canada gets a hatchback.
And America gets a sedan, and so does Canada. So we get both, America only gets one.
Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this car. What's the point of it?
I would like to start this off by saying this is the A-Class. So Mercedes has officially established that this will be the smallest car they ever make. Unless they develop a new alphabet, because A is first.
Yo, it's gonna start being the Alpha series.
Exactly.
The Omega series.
The AA, AAA.
Okay, so this is gonna be the new least expensive Mercedes.
Yes, this is a hot hatch.
This is a hot hatch, but this one that we're driving looks cool.
It looks amazing.
It's got flat paint, and we got this cool like acid yellow stripe on the bottom on the wheels. We got some stitching, and we got these cool race seats.
Yeah, the race seats are really nice.
Are they coming to Canada?
Not sure.
Probably not. Not right away.
Not right away. We may get one in 2019.
And how about the body styling?
This has the AMG package, which is not confirmed for Canada yet, maybe in 2019.
Okay, but
it looks unreal with the current configuration.
We couldn't not grab the coolest one they had. Let's do a little rip. Drop a gear.
Send.
Euro send.
It's good.
It's pretty good. It's not super crazy fast, but it is not an AMG.
Exactly.
It is very good for what it looks like, for what it is.
It's very, very, very good for being a base model.
Horsepower and torque.
221 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque.
And that's what we'll be getting in North America.
Exactly, which is very similar, pretty much almost identical to the GTI numbers.
Well, it's just pretty cool.
Exactly. So for reference, this is very similar to driving a GTI. I think it's obviously a little notch above because it is a Mercedes. The fit and finish and everything like that just adds to the whole package, and it feels like a solid car.
Okay, let's talk about handling before we dig into the cool electronic stuff.
No, I want to talk about handling.
Okay, we'll talk about handling later. So let's talk about the cool electronic stuff.
Go for it.
Hey Mercedes.
How can I help you?
Does this car pass the visor test? 3, 2, 1.
No!
Oh!
No! Hard fail.
Disappointed.
I thought they added it into every 2018.
Every 2018 E-Class.
Oh, man.
What do you want to do?
Pass a visor test.
So Hey Mercedes is pretty much the MBUX, Mercedes-Benz user experience.
That's right.
It lets you do stuff without having to touch screens, touch buttons, and it works kind of okay. It's like when Siri started, oh my God.
You said it. You can't say the command and not talk about it.
Okay. I'm not gonna say it.
just say HM.
HM.
HM from now on means Hey Mercedes.
Don't say it.
Damn it.
I just canceled it.
Okay.
We have a touch screen now.
Thank you, Mercedes.
Which is very nice. It makes things very intuitive. We do not have the wheel anymore. We've got this touchpad, which works well, but I miss the wheel.
I do miss the wheel, but I got used to the touchpad very quickly, and the fact that it's a touchscreen, I'm completely fine with it now.
And then we've got a lot of the other cool gauges from like the E-Class and the S-Class.
This has a lot of E-Class and S-Class stuff, a lot of S-Class stuff, which is really impressive for a car of this price, which we can't talk about because the price hasn't actually been released yet.
Yeah, which is gonna make it super, super cool when it comes to North America.
But just so you know, the price will be below everything else because this is the entry-level model now. We should also mention that these are 10-inch optional screens, but you get 7-inch touchscreen standard as well.
On top of the HM and the touchscreenness, we also have got an app. It's the Mercedes Me app that connects to your phone, and you can see how much gas you have, pretty much track everything.
Start your car, do a bunch of stuff.
Unlock the doors, yeah, and you can check the app for directions and send those directions right to your car.
I think the best part of that is the fact that it'll actually check if there's open parking spaces available as the car drives by, and this thing notifies other Mercedes in the area, and they all talk to each other.
Yes.
So there's some crazy wireless system, and they tell you if there's parking spots available. It's insane.
Mercedes talk to each other and tell them when they're leaving spots so that you can get their spots.
So if you have a BMW, I feel sorry for you because you'll never know where there's an open spot.
You're not part of that club. Before I continue on with the gauges, we should mention we are in Croatia for the launch.
Oh yeah, I guess we should mention that. Shout out to Mercedes for bringing us out here.
They wanted us to film on the nicest roads ever, so we obliged and filmed the coolest stuff ever.
It was a really hard decision to come out here.
Yeah.
No, this place is beautiful.
It's all right, I guess.
Yeah. Look at these views that we're showing you right now. Come on, back to the car.
You can do classic, sport, and now you have understated.
Which you really need in this car.
I love understated. However, when you go to understated, if you click home or anything on this screen here, it goes back to whatever you had it before. If you turn the car off, come back, you lose understated. You can't make it a default setting.
It's a really small fix, and I'm sure they can do that wirelessly because this can get wireless updates now, which is the best part of the system. I really like that the gauges switch a lot faster now with this new updated system. The only lag is switching between classic and sport, but all the lag in the system has been pretty much eliminated.
Yes.
I absolutely love it.
All those graphics we complain about that move.
No more pixelation between graphic changes.
I think because they used 3D models instead of like 3D renderings, so they don't have to do as much work when they're transferring over, and pixels and RAM and renderings.
Whatever they did,
there's something.
Great job.
And so now the Mercedes-Benz that has the least amount of pixelation is now the least expensive one.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up with that?
I can't wait for the new ones to get updated with this because this is actually going to start to roll out to all the new Mercedes eventually.
I think we accidentally activated it when we said Mercedes.
Oh yeah.
Cancel.
What would you like to do?
I'd like you to cancel, please.
It doesn't like to be canceled.
Okay. There. And just like the S Class and the E Class, we've got our little touch pads on the steering wheel where we can go through our settings in the gauge cluster, and we do have heads-up display.
But Canada will get it as an option.
It's pretty overwhelming, and even I know the S Class and E Class infotainment and gauges very well. I think it's going to take some time to get used to it, but for young people like us who can like
figure it out, yeah,
tech savvy people, I think it'll be very enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. Back to the steering wheel, it is pretty much straight out of the S Class because there's no stocks on the side.
Paddles, they feel very nice.
Yeah, they don't feel cheap at all. Nothing in here feels cheap at all, except these buttons down here. They're a little bit flimsy.
They don't even like line up perfectly. It's weird.
Other than that, I'm glad that there are physical buttons. Nothing feels cheap.
I'm gonna let you drive right away. There's a lot we haven't talked about when it comes to Mercedes Me and the HM features.
The MBUX.
We are going to do another video on that so we can go fully in depth and see what it can't do and what are its limitations. Turns out we didn't have enough time to film all the cool infotainment stuff, so we're gonna throw it in as much as we can.
We will film a full one once the car is released, but for now, enjoy some Easter eggs.
Hey Mercedes.
How can I help you?
What do you think of Audi?
The same as you. Otherwise you would not be sitting here.
Oh.
Gotcha. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help you?
Tell me a joke.
Sorry, my engineers were Germans.
These guys. So the infotainment, it kind of works like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It can actually replace that.
It works really, really well. You can do a ton of cool commands like turn on your heated seats and stuff like that. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help you?
Turn on my heated seats.
Seat heating is switched on.
Okay,
it's pretty good.
But that turned on mine because you weren't specific enough.
Yes, this is very true.
Okay, check this out.
I would recommend you turn yours off because it's pretty hot outside.
Hey Mercedes.
How can I help you?
Change ambient light to pink.
What do you want to do?
Doesn't like pink.
Change ambient light to blue.
Okay, I'm changing the color.
I also spoke to the infotainment engineer about rewinding satellite radio stations. Europe doesn't have Sirius XM. They're going to get back to me to find out in the American spec if we can get that.
Yuri straight up bothered this guy for about 2 hours.
They had fun though.
They did have fun. They were great guys.
More Easter eggs. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help you?
Follow that car.
Sorry, I really don't like chasers.
Okay, another cool thing, probably the coolest thing about all this control, when I tell it to change the climate, if it's at nighttime and the lights are on, the vents change according to whatever color you're changing the climate to.
On this spec.
On this spec. So if I say, hey Mercedes.
How can I help you?
I'm a little bit hot.
I hope things get better.
Hey Mercedes, I'm hot. Make it colder.
I'm setting the temperature to 21 degrees.
You can also control fan speed. Hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
25 degrees, low fan speed.
I'm setting the ventilation to minimum.
It does a lot.
And back to driving now. Send. Zero to 60 in 6.2 seconds. That's not bad. I love the torque. The torque distribution is great. You have power at all RPMs and there's pretty much no lag because this is a 2-liter turbo engine. The only problem I have with the engine is that it's very loud at high RPMs, but I do like the turbo blow-off sounds.
Yeah, the turbo's good. And the transmission is a 7-speed dual clutch.
It's not my favorite. It shifts up very good, but downshift, there's a little bit of lag. I expect a little bit more from a dual clutch.
I think you're AMG in your head, and this isn't AMG.
Perhaps. For a base model, this is spectacular. Now I can talk about the handling. It's amazing. It handles so well. The only problem is we have the adaptive handling package, so we can't tell you exactly how it will handle in Canada.
Probably pretty good.
Exactly.
And it'll probably come to Canada eventually.
The chassis is stiffened. It's great. I do love how this car handles on these beautiful roads out here. We are driving the front-wheel drive model, but Canada is getting the front wheel and the 4MATIC all-wheel drive model.
Okay, good, because Canadians need 4-wheel drive for winter.
And we have 4 drive modes in this. It's Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Individual. The suspension is really comfortable in all the modes. Sport mode does sharpen it up, but overall, every mode is still very comfortable. The damping is great.
It does feel very high-end.
Yeah, it's very predictable. It's very solid. I really like the handling.
Now for looks and interior. We kind of skimmed over it because this one's brand new in Canada, so we needed to talk more about the cool techie stuff. But the looks are really, really cool.
I love how this one looks. It's very premium for being the base.
It's got those new Mercedes-style headlights.
I love them. The front end looks like a baby CLS now.
I think one of my favorite angles is looking down at the hatch from behind. It does have a really cool shape to it.
And it has LED taillights, which look perfect.
They are. Remember in the Elantra GT Sport video, I complained that the thing needs like Kia Forte 5 taillights?
The outsides are lit up.
This has that exactly.
I really like the wheels. They are 19s. We are not getting them in Canada. We are getting 17s and 18s.
We're not getting the AMG bumper.
We might be.
The main difference is it's got those like Wolverine claws. But we're getting the white version, and I think it looks really good in white. They use that in their commercials with Nicki Minaj.
White with black wheels.
That's the reason I clicked on that commercial, because instead of featuring Nicki Minaj, she just teleported into a car for 5 seconds.
So it worked on you. Their advertising actually worked on you.
Putting Nicki Minaj in the title of an A-Class worked on me. Like, I clicked that extra fast.
Back to the front bumper. Those pins in the grille, that's the new Mercedes style. That's standard for Canada, optional around the world.
I like it. I like the front end.
And speaking of the front end, we got sensors. So this one does have adaptive cruise and it pretty much drives itself. It's amazing.
Yes.
Canada is not getting that at launch.
We tested out the lane keep assist and it worked really well, like very, very well, S-Class well.
Oh yeah, it's the best system I've used exactly from the S-Class.
And when it beeps at you, it doesn't just say, put your hands back on the wheel, put your hands back on the wheel. Okay, I'm not using this anymore. It slows you right down to a stop and puts on your hazards.
Back to the rear end for a second. The exhaust tips are fake.
Welcome to 2018.
Are completely fake. I'm so disappointed in that.
You know what car didn't have fake exhaust tips?
Punch some holes in them. What?
Plymouth Prowler. Just saying.
You know what car did have fake exhaust tips?
Lexus ISF.
Yep.
Who are you, Jacob? Whose team are you on?
They were real. They're just separate.
Interior.
I love this interior.
Very comfortable, very roomy, and cool materials.
Everything looks cool, feels cool, other than the gloss black. It's pretty much everywhere and I hate it. There's gloss black around the vents. That's gonna get really dusty. There's gloss black around your whole center console, the entire thing. That's gonna have fingerprints, dust, scratches, everything. I don't like it.
Should have used fake carbon fiber.
What about this brushed steel?
The brushed steel is cool.
It's beautiful.
I can pretty much guarantee these cup holders are going to hold a small cup of Tim Hortons coffee. We've got a middle opening armrest.
Which is straight from the E-Class.
But it doesn't have room for a cable to come out.
No, which
Kinda
is
gets jammed up.
It's a pretty big oversight on such a small thing.
But USB ports.
USB-C. This is the first car I've seen with USB-C ports. I believe it has 3 of them. And I think it even comes with this little adapter.
For normal USB.
There's no normal USB ports on this car. Android people unite! Speaking of that, this does have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay.
Yeah, but the Apple CarPlay doesn't go full widescreen like it did in the E's. Back seat room is pretty decent. It's obviously great for me at 5'8.5".
It is pretty good for me, not so good for knee room, but amazing for headroom. Whoever did that, thank you so much. I personally would like to thank the engineer behind that.
Back to piano black, we've got cool vents. I think our favorite vents. And what's cool is that they light up with the rest of the interior. You get that 64 colors just like the E-Class did, but then you also get all those cool rainbow colors too.
I hate to tell you, the light up vents are not coming to Canada.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you, I'm sorry. Maybe in 2019.
Okay, speaking of the light up vents, the commercial for that part is like pretty aggressive.
It's next level.
Oh, now we're just doing it in the back seats.
It's getting hot in here.
Whoa. So we covered pretty much everything. What's your favorite part about the A-Class? And you think it'll do well in North America?
I really like the overall performance. For a base model, this is amazing because you basically get GTI levels of performance in a base Mercedes, which is very, very good.
I think the looks are almost more striking than like a GTI. I think my favorite part is how much tech you're getting from the S-Class and the E-Class.
That is really cool.
Like you feel like you're getting so much. It's like a special treat to drive it.
We usually finish off with the price, but we do not have a price yet. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe so you can find out how much this thing actually costs when it gets to North America.
Hit the notification bell and patreon.com/TheStraightPipes.
Yes, and the Croatia share break.
Share with all your Croatian friends and non-Croatian friends. So basically everyone.
Everyone. I'm Yuri.
I'm Jakub.
And we're going for a drive. Subscription break. Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe right now. Subscribe. We didn't do that.